Welcome guys, this is Automotive Anonymous, and that's my 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness. And today I want to share 14 secret features or tips that you may not have known that your modern Subaru has. So whether that's the Impreza, the Crosstrek, the Forester, the Legacy, the Outback, the Ascent, or even the WRX, here are a bunch of secret fun features that you should be aware of. And I'm gonna start with the easy ones, and then we're gonna get a little bit more involved, a little bit more complicated. So number one is the privacy shade. Many of you guys have probably seen this before, but you can actually hide it underneath where the spare tire goes if you don't want to have it out. Number two is actually true for all vehicles. The gas gauge points to what side of the vehicle the gas door is on. In the case of Subarus, it's usually on the right side of the vehicle or the passenger side. And now on most modern Subarus, when the vehicle is locked, so is the gas door. And then when you unlock the vehicle, you can easily just pop the gas door open. I will mention though, when the vehicle has the accessories or the electronics running, the vehicle won't lock with the remote. So if you ever wonder why it's not locking, check to see if you left the power on inside. The third secret is the Subaru Eyebolt hole. That is used when you need to get towed or tow someone else out. There's usually one hidden away with the spare tire in the back of the hatch area on your Subaru. And then you should have a plastic cover anywhere either on the front or the back of your Subaru. So just pop that open either with your fingernail, a small flathead screwdriver, or a key if you can't do it with your fingernail. And then just screw in the eyebolt hole until it's tight, until it's facing horizontally. And then you can use that to tow yourself or someone else out of a sticky situation. The fourth feature is if you want to use cruise control without using the eyesight cameras, you can get into regular non-adaptive cruise control by first pushing the cruise control button and then holding the distance button. And you'll notice that that icon changes. Now, if you want to get into cruise control, it won't be using the cameras. You'll be independently operating the entire system. Tip number 5 is also related to the number 5. When you get into cruise control on my 2022 model year, and I push the up increment to increase my speed, it jumps by 5 miles an hour. When I hold it either up or down, it jumps up by single mile per hour intervals. The newest Subarus, the 2024 model years, and I think the 23s as well, they fixed that problem to where if you push it up 1, it jumps up 1. If you hold it, it jumps by 5. That makes more sense to me. But if you're wondering why, when you push up or down, it jumps up by 5 and you don't like that feature, try holding it, and that should fix the problem. Number 6 is the auto vehicle hold feature. If your Subaru doesn't have a button like that around the shifter, but you do have this 11.6 inch screen, chances are it's in there. So go to the car icon, click auto vehicle hold, you'll notice the light appears, and then once you're all the way braked, you can take your foot off the brake and the vehicle won't idle forward. But once you dab the throttle, you'll notice that I'm idling as you usually would. So that is a really cool feature, although I'm disappointed that Subaru didn't have that more readily available and accessible from the front display screen. Number 7 is related to phone connectivity. I am thankful that my 2022 does have plugged in or wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That is a really nice feature on these, and the newer ones even have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. But this 11.6 inch screen doesn't always do the best job at connecting unless you do it wired, but you do have the near field communication icon. So if you put your phone up to that, it's supposed to connect more easily to Bluetooth, although in my experience, it really doesn't work that efficiently. Number 8, unfortunately, only applies to the Legacy and the Outback because the Outback is built off of the Legacy, but you actually have a hidden 12 volt in the back of the glove box, which is a really nice feature. Personally, I don't use mine. If you guys use yours, comment below. I'd like to know what you use it for, but that is a nice feature to have, and it's unfortunate the other Subaru models don't get it. Number 9 is the fuse boxes and their location, because Subaru didn't do a very good job of labeling them. There's one under the hood, easy to get to. Thankfully, you don't have to move a lot of other stuff around the way to get to it and access it if you ever have to test one. And then the other one is in the footwell on the driver's side. You can also replace this on Amazon for a little storage pocket if you want. But otherwise, you can see what they're rated at. If you ever have to test one, they're always pretty easy to get to on Subarus, which I really appreciate, especially with how many electronics these modern ones have with all their safety and high-end features. Number 10 is really cool because it's basically a 3-in-1. You have a hidden key inside of your proximity key, so if the power ever goes out in your Subaru key or the vehicle's battery, you can still get into the vehicle that way by unlocking the driver's side door, but you can also use that key to lock the glove box inside. And then you can deactivate the key. So if you're going on some outdoor adventure and you don't want to have the key on you, you can hold the lock button while double pressing the unlock button. So by holding that, it locks the whole vehicle, and then double pressing that at the same time simultaneously deactivates the remote. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. You'll notice it flashed a few times. I'm just gonna throw that in there. It now doesn't work. The proximity key feature is deactivated because it doesn't sense that the remote's there. And then you have a PIN code on the back, which I have a video on how to set that, but I'm gonna enter in my secret code. You'll hear that it unlocked, and you can regain access after your adventure, which is a pretty cool feature. I also have a video on how to set up the PIN code if you're interested. I'll show a picture of that in the upper screen here. Number 11 is actually a 2-for-1, and it relates to the hatch and setting its hatch position height, which is also in that video that I just shared the thumbnail photo for. But whether you use the button that's on the dashboard, you use the button that's underneath the Subaru emblem, or you use the remote, you can start opening it and then press it again when it's at the desired height. And in case you have to drive around with some stuff hanging out the back, tightly secured, you're welcome to do that. But if you want to bring it all the way down, just hold the button again, or let it go all the way up. This is also kind of cool. The 2-for-1 portion comes in because if you're car camping, you can get a specific carabiner to hold onto that to help the vehicle think that the hatch is closed, so it doesn't leave any lights on and just have parasitic electrical loss. So if you have a tent that extends off the back of your Subaru, that's one of the tips you do, so that in the morning you don't come out to a dead battery. Number 12 is really cool because it's remote start that you can control through the app if you pay for the My Subaru app, which in my case, it was like $180 for the first 4 years of service, which I think is a fantastic deal, especially with how much I use it. And then once it's locked, you can either use the remote to unlock it or just use the proximity key features. And then once you hop inside and you've had it set to your desired climate controls, which because it's like in the 20 degrees out here, I have it on full heat. You do have to push the start button to start it. Otherwise, it can be set to run for up to 10 minutes, which a really cool extra feature of this is if you're gonna be out of town for a few weeks at a time and you park this outside, you could remote start it like once a week to charge the battery if you want, so that you don't come back to a dead battery. Number 13 is just for fun. These are what you call widgets. I personally have mine set to the coolant temp, the oil temp, and then the acceleration or the throttle percentage. But if you want to change them, or if you want to set them up similar to mine, make sure you're in settings, general, scroll down just a little ways. I scrolled too far. Favorite widgets, there it is. And then you can click on which one you want to select, and then those are your other options. And then last but not least, in every Subaru, when it's 37 degrees or below, there's going to be some sort of icon. In this case, it's the Snowflake, to remind you that there could be ice or snow on the road. Another little secret tip, though, for what some people are confused by, is some Subarus, like the Imprezas and the Crosstreks, for a long time, they'd have a blue light show up when you first start up the car. That's basically just telling you that the fluids are cold, and the light will disappear once it gets up to running temperature. If you've made it this far, I congratulate you, and I hope that you found this video useful, helpful, and I hope it gave you some insight. If you want to watch how to set the PIN code, I have a video on that from about a year ago. I don't use it super often, but when you need it, you really need it, and it's a really cool feature. Anyways, guys, if you appreciated this video, if you liked it, please consider liking the video. I apologize for the shaky voice. It's like 20 degrees outside, it's freezing. The snow's not melting, the birds are chirping, and we're having a lot of fun out here. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, take care. See ya.